with a sepsis doctor, and she's gone to me. She got all serious, and she put her hand on my hand and went, "I've got some bad news." I said, "What, I've got cancer?" 11 million people per year die of sepsis. Right? How I'm here, I've got no idea.
Welcome to the Cancer Mind and Me channel. My name's Jack. I'm here to serve simply as the host, supporting the star of the show, Reg.
Don't know about star, mate. Don't know about star.
He enjoys the attention, definitely. But in today's episode, we're going to be talking about sepsis, Reg's experience of fighting sepsis off twice, experience that I've personally had with family dealing with sepsis as well, and yeah, we're looking to tackle Reg's first battle in his struggle, because of course, again, if you're new here, you won't know, but Reg is actually a sufferer of stage 4 cancer, and the channel's set up to raise awareness, help families, help deal with emotions, and most importantly, how to control your mind when dealing with traumatic events, such as terminal illnesses and big hospital battles. But yeah, to start the episode off on a good note, how are you, mate? What you been up to this week?
Well, I feel great, mate, to be honest with you. It's been half term, so basically just been Ventureland with the kids and zoos and down the pier, and yeah, we had a great time. Feel great. I mean, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I've done. Yeah,
no, you definitely always look great, and this is part of Reg's main message, is live life to the fullest. When you get some bad news and health struggles, don't let that control your mind. Try to get your mind to control how you deal with the bad news, bad illnesses, any bad event. Just promote positive mental health. And yeah, because of that, he now lives life to the fullest with his young foster kids.
Yeah, without doubt. And my lovely little daughter and my two beautiful sons, 28 and 38. Oh my God. Anyway, and my daughter, who's 11, and my foster kids who are 7 and 8, or 6 and 8. I'm close on that one. Yeah. So the thing is, every news I've ever had, Jack, right, I've never took as bad news. You know, obviously, it's going to tell you cancer. You'll of course, you shit yourself a bit, yeah? Poop yourself, whatever. Sorry, it is what it is, right? You know, you do crap yourself. But never, ever, at any time have I thought I'm going to die. Never once. Sepsis is what we're on about today, right? How I'm here, I've got no idea. I'll tell you, poet and don't know it. Poet and don't know it. The thing is, I got it all started off. I do a school run. I'm an ex-cab driver, ex-fireman. There's so many things I've done, you wouldn't even believe all that. I'll come back to that in later episodes. But as I got older, I was doing a little school run where I take kids to school. You know what I mean? So I got this little ache in my belly. Like, not a pain, like an ache. And it went on, and you know, I guarantee anyone watching this, we all do go, oh, that'll be all right. After about 3 or 4 weeks, I think, flipping heck. Well, I thought something worse than that, but I'm saying flipping heck. And I thought, this is going on too long. And I still didn't go, probably 5 weeks. I've gone to the doctors, I've gone, and I played it down. Don't know why, but you just do that, didn't you? I said to the geezer, I got these pains like an ache. I don't know if I'm imagining it. Why I said that, I don't know, because I certainly knew I wasn't imagining it, but I'm thinking, it's just an ache. Anyway, he took me blood pressure, or I don't know if he did, to be honest with you. I think he might have done. No, he didn't. Anyway, cut a long story short, he said to me, well, if you've still got the ache or any pains in a couple of weeks, come back and we'll give you a blood test. This was on about Tuesday or Wednesday, Jack. And on the Sunday morning, in fact, I went to London to my cousin who come over from Spain. Her daughter got married. It was their party there in London, right in the West End, and I was ill. It was down a basement thing, and I was, wow, I felt bad. Staying in a hotel overnight, I kept going upstairs, and I didn't want. I'm trying to dance downstairs and make out I'm all right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
As
you do. And my kids and my wife was there, of course. My boy, and they're going, Dad, you all right? And I went, well, not really. I said, and I never say that. I don't want to worry him.
Yeah, and that's the big key factor for people to tell something's really wrong.
Yeah, correct. Anyway, obviously I go back to the hotel, go in the morning. I'm not well. It's Sunday morning now. We go home. My wife has to go out, do some stuff with the kids. I'm indoors, and I feel worse now. I thought, can I get an ambulance? 4 hours. I thought, I don't know if I'll be here in 4 hours.
Yeah,
that's how I felt.
For you to actually call an ambulance as well,
would never do that.
Such a major thing. This is a man that will go, I'll be all right in a little bit. Won't even burden telling anyone with anything. We'll just get going. So actually calling an ambulance is a big thing. But what did you do after that?
Well, when they said 4 hours, and I just felt, I've never ever felt ill like that in my life. I felt like life was draining out of me. Can you stop?
Yeah, of course, mate. You're good. And that's the beautiful of having the magic of YouTube backing us up. As I said in the first episode, we're going to be chopping it up a bit to have emotion breaks is probably the best way to say it. Because, this is a very good story. And you guys are lucky at home. You get to pause the episode when the emotions get a bit too much for you. And you come back when you're composed. We're living it. But we're living it so you can learn from it. But to go back then, Reg, to recap. So you've called the ambulance. Ambulance has said 4 hour wait, which is just their standard response this day and age. It probably would have been 13, 14. What did you then do?
I knew I couldn't wait, mate. I really did. I rung my eldest son because he lives closest. Either one would have been here in a minute, as quick as they can. So I rung John, my eldest son. Bosh, it was round here and I was up there. I was in the hospital within half an hour. And straight into A&E. And perhaps you need a bit of luck in life, Jack. Because the nurse, this is quite unbelievable, the nurse that was on duty there, with other nurses, obviously, I knew her. I took her daughter to school in my bus.
Okay.
Wasn't doing it at the time, but I had taken her daughter to school, and she recognised me, and she, like, my God, she knew I wasn't well.
If anyone in that situation, whether if it's knew you from the school run or knew you from down the pub or knew you from football, if anyone is then a doctor in A&E and sees you come in as a patient because they know you previously, they're panicked a little bit because they know.
I don't go to hospital. Don't never go. No, of course. And then she come over, took my blood pressure. I was 75/50, which apparently ain't too clever, right? And she got a doctor out. They was on one of them beds in minutes. And then I got a proper, head doctor in front of me. Right, they took I don't know if they've done a scan or not. I can't really remember. All I know is they said we might have to operate. As I said in the previous one, they said we're going to have to operate. We're going to view I said, I'm not having one of them.
Your stoma.
I'm not having a stoma. I'm having poo coming out of my stomach. And it's ridiculous. I was stupid to say it, just how I felt at the time.
In hindsight, that bag is your pride and joy. We call it your pride and joy.
Well, I wouldn't say pride and joy, but I mean, thank God I got it. You know what I mean? So, she said, right, well, I don't want to operate because it's very dangerous. So we're going to, she just said, well, we're just going to try. So put me on antibiotics. I don't know if it was 2 days later, 3 days later, I don't know. My sons will know.
Yep.
What they're going to do. Come on here, right?
Yeah, they're going to be in the next episode, and they're going to be able to break down to you day to day what's happened over the journey, because obviously you're just in with your mindset, everything will be all right, I'm just having a quick hospital visit like a vacation. But for them and the family, day by day what is going to happen. So yeah, they're going to come on and going to break that down. But so the antibiotics done work for you?
Well, when I think Charlie will tell you, my youngest son, he went up to the hospital and asked the doctor to ring him, and she did because it was serious. And the conversation he has told me, but I let him tell it. He tells it absolutely factual, where I'll probably get mapped up.
Don't want to paraphrase because it's such an important part
really
of your story,
yeah.
and it's really hits home, doesn't it? The way he tells it.
To get it right,
we'll get it right, and we'll share that.
That's
with
why
you
I don't
want
to say what he said, because he can say it absolute, word for word. They weren't good anyway. But when he does visit me, my kids and my wife, my every day. You know what I mean? I'm so privileged to have that sort of love. And when Charlie walked in, it was in the morning, right, before he goes to work, or I don't know, about 9 o'clock. I'm in there eating a bit of toast, having a cup of tea. All right, son? Nearly fell over.
he honestly couldn't believe it, because the news that he had from the doctor the night before with that phone call.
Or 24 hours before, whatever it was.
Yeah, whatever that period is, he'll obviously confirm, but I can say it wasn't positive. He didn't know what he was going to be walking into, and he definitely wouldn't have backed you sitting up there with a big grin on your face, telling jokes and having your breakfast.
I was having a great laugh, you know what I mean? Nurses loved me, mate. I was quite funny in there.
Yeah, exactly. But where credit's due with the nurses, because
they're wonderful.
In the first instance, with this episode of sepsis, the antibiotics did work to a large degree, didn't they? They was actually able to send you home.
Yeah. I think I had a drain.
Yep.
I had a drain there, but I had a tear in my
tear in your bowel. So we'll be able to give you the reasons why a few chapter-ons in this episode. It will all come clear, but at this point in time, no one knew what the sepsis was about. But we will get to that. But they've sent you home. But in hindsight, probably wasn't the right decision, because you're home only for 7-10 days before you're back in hospital.
I'm not sure. I'm between that, something between 6 and 10. Yeah, 7 and 10. And when they sent me home, I was swollen. I walk about 15 and a half stone, you know what I mean? And I went home, I was 18, and I wasn't eating. I had no appetite in there. I'm not saying hospital food, because it's all right, but I just had no appetite. So, which is very unusual, because I eat like an horse, use a nose bag and everything. No, I don't. I can't help it. I can't help myself. So anyway, I've lost my track of thought.
So they've sent you home. You're swollen.
I'm swollen. I'm really swollen. I mean, it's ridiculous, really. I couldn't even walk into the car. And I thought, should I be going home? Anyway, the swelling don't go down. They ring me up. Listen, I'm never going to complain, right? End up going back there, and obviously they didn't know that I had the cancer there, and the sepsis now has gone to my chest. They took me straight in. They took 5 litres of fluid. They put a hole there. Took 5 litres of fluid off my chest. Said, now the cancer's gone to your chest. So I didn't know that then.
You didn't know, but that's why the cancer's gone to his chest in the instance. So the sepsis spread the infection.
I know now that I had to, I found out after. When all this stuff came out, I thought, my God, what is all that? It's like 5 litres of it.
What are you actually thinking, though? In that process, when they're draining you, what is going through your head?
I ain't going to be swollen no more.
And that summarises.
I'm going to be fine.
Yeah, that's something. Not, oh my gosh,
what? Job done.
Why is this happening? What's going to happen next?
No negative thoughts.
Oh, thank for that. Yeah, that's off me now. I can go back down to my normal life and back to work.
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah, that does summarise you quite clearly.
Oh mate, then they've put this. I don't know the name of it. They put it up your willy.
The catheter.
Catheter. I got one of them. Then they're going to do this. Oh, this is it. This is how they found out.
Yeah, so he's had a tube up the front, and then he's had a colonoscopy to have a tube up the back.
No, ain't at your back, it's up your arse.
No, that's what I mean.
Oh.
The front and the back, they poke things in you. And so the reason why they done the colonoscopy is because they wanted to investigate the cause of the initial sepsis in the bowel and the colon, because he was so infected. All the scans that he done, they never showed cancer. The sepsis and the infection masked the cancer cells, or what they call polyps and stuff like that. You couldn't see anything. So they've done a camera. They can see that there's a tear in the bowel. The tear in the bowel has been caused by the tumour.
I think I've been unlucky enough. I thought, I'm unlucky enough to get the sepsis twice. Don't come and land cancer on me. You know what I mean? I thought, for Christ's sake. I thought, for fuck's sake. Anyway, so then she's a wonderful lady, the one that come in with the pom-pom saying you've done really well, the doctor, with a sepsis doctor, and she's gone to me. She got all serious, and she put her hand on my hand and went, I've got some bad news. I said, what, I've got cancer? I said, oh, don't worry about it. I said, I'll beat the sepsis, I'll beat that.
Yeah.
Cut!
He's gone again! Again, don't we love a little intermission? But just to rewind and go back, so amazing sepsis doctor. She's literally come in with like pom-poms, banners and that, screaming, shouting, celebrating. You've done it, you've beat sepsis. You have defied all odds that we've personally put on you.
I've never seen someone more shocked, to be honest with you.
That's the feedback that your family's told me as well, was the doctors just couldn't believe that you managed to pull through and beat it off. That there deserves a round of applause, definitely.
Stop it.
But then, of course, we go back into the next heart-wrenching thing, which is she had the bad news of saying that you had cancer. I think you told her when she had got some bad news, you went, it's cancer, isn't it? Don't worry about it.
I did. I don't know why I got a bit blurpy there, but the thing is, I just went, well, I know it's crazy. I just know, I knew then and I know now, that I'm going to live another 20, 30 years. Whether I've got cancer for 20, 30 years, I may have. Right? I may. But I'm crazy enough to believe I won't.
Exactly. And
you know,
that goes back to the message of why we've created this channel, is because if you can, look, disclaimer, you cannot beat a terminal illness from mindset alone. Please go get medical advice. Please go seek the best treatment possible.
No one can.
However, how your quality of day-to-day life, your attitude to everyday tasks, how you live your life, not just being alive, but how you live your life, and potentially, in your opinion, for you at least, if you can get another 10 stretch or 20 stretch by not being depressed and fighting everything.
10 stretch ain't cutting it.
No, exactly. That's why I was following
10
up with
stretch ain't even cutting it. You don't even mention 10. No, I do, honestly.
In your head.
Listen, I mean, I'm 71, right? I might look it now because of all the chemo, but when I have my Botox and my teeth done properly, when I'm completely better in a few months' time, or maybe a year, I'm definitely going to live another score.
Good, mate.
Minimum. Because I want to.
No, exactly. And as we said in the very first episode and the trailer, it's all about controlling how you react to not only terminal illnesses, but any bad news, any breakup or any loss of job. Don't let depression eat you up. I think depression is very acceptable in many cases, but especially when you're told, look, you're terminal stage 4 cancer, I think depression is well more than expected. But it's how you react to that and how you let that then dictate what you do tomorrow, what you do next week, how you treat your family. Do you lock yourself away, or do you take your kids to the park like you do, for example?
Well, it all started, this is called Cancer Minding Me, but it's about minding me, really, because how I got through sepsis is, well, I shouldn't be here. Yeah. I actually should not be here.
Exactly. And
it showed me some facts today, which I never knew until today. I am gobsmacked.
You're still not entirely sure the actual dilemma of what sepsis is.
No.
It's one of the things that the NHS itself tries to educate the public the most on, because they call it the silent killer. It's the most posters I've ever seen in a doctor's surgery or around a hospital, on the side of some ambulances I'm seeing now as well. It really is something that they're trying to push. And we'll leave you with some statistics, and what I'll do is I'll link down in the description where the sources for these statistics are, because when I told you them, your mind was initially blown earlier.
Oh, I couldn't believe it.
I mean, talking about sepsis as well, we've just touched on Reggie's fight with sepsis. We're going to have his son's viewpoint on his battle in the next episode, which is going to be very interesting, because what we want to do is we want to show you dynamics. So it's not just being affected by having terminal illness, it's being affected by a family member or a friend having terminal illness and dealing with, in this example, sepsis. So we think it's very important for Charlie and John to come on and explain.
Jack, it's harder for them than me.
It is.
It's harder for them than me. You know what I mean? I'm more worried about them than they are about me.
Exactly, and having them coming on and tell everyone about their experience with it, we think will be a rather rewarding conversation to have for not just the family but for the listeners to the channel as well.
Might help other families to understand and realise, people. I mean, I needed their support. No matter how strong my mind is, however much I believe, which I do, I'm 1,000,000% believe. But with their belief, they believe in me.
Yeah.
They believe in me. And that, because a lot of people will go, he's off his head here. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people, even some people looking on here will go, well, when you get your results, might not be as good as you think you are. Well, I don't know yet, but I will know very, very soon, and I can't wait to announce them.
Yeah.
If it's a little bit better, it's still better, isn't it? That's the way I look at it.
Exactly. I don't think to win the war, you've got to win many battles, haven't you? So let's start winning some rounds.
You might lose a few wars, but I might lose a few battles, but you will win the war.
Exactly. Yeah. So we take it fight to fight. But while we're on the topic of obviously sepsis and raising awareness of sepsis, one of the main things that you need to do is to catch it early. You need to see your symptoms. You need to tell your doctor, and if they, in your case, we'll give you
When I had them little aches, I waited probably 5 or 6 weeks. If I go there in 1 week, I might not have cancer.
Exactly. And if you go there a week later than that, you might not be here.
And if I'd have gone 7 or 8, well, no, on that Sunday when I went to the hospital, if I hadn't have gone that Sunday, if I'd gone Monday or Tuesday, 1,000,000% I wouldn't be here.
Another day or two,
I'll
be all right.
That's a fact. I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, we've got some exciting news for the channel as well. One of these pieces of information that we'll share with you now, because when it comes up in a later episode, you're not going to be surprised. We're going to have a bit of a set change. So at the moment, we're in Reggie's front room. We're at the back side of it here. We thought it'd be a very good place to create the origin of this channel, because I don't know if you've noticed, but we've got Mum and Dad of Reg sitting on either shoulder there, looking over him. So yeah, it don't matter how old you get, you always still got your mummy and daddy beside you. But just taking it back down to a more serious note now as well. So about catching the signs of sepsis early. The reason why I say this is a very, very key thing is I'm going to tell you a story about now of someone that we both love who didn't catch the signs of sepsis early and unfortunately lost her life to it, which is my dear mum, Jill. So the story goes, it's very, very straight cut, to be honest. So she's poorly on a Friday afternoon. She's in bed. It's very common. My mother was medically retired from an early age. She was rheumatoid arthritis. Quite a long list of things wrong with her. But again, similar mindset to you. Never stopped her. We all called her Bob because she was able to do things that
Bob the Builder, mate. She used to
do
tiling.
Yeah, she might not have the physical body to do it, but she could project manage like you wouldn't believe, to the point of telling a professional how to do it, but how to then do it better and improve the craftsmanship there. She was just so intelligent and just very, very capable. But yeah, so she's in bed, which is normal. She's unwell. She's taking her painkillers, which she's got for the arthritis. She's going
many years though, Jack, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. She in and out of hospital like a yo-yo. So yeah, she's ill. She's dosed up. Saturday, she's ill, dosed up, asleep all day. Checking in on her. I lived with my mum at the time. Checking in on her periodically to see how she's doing. Sunday, she's better. She's still in bed, but she's awake. She's watching the telly. She's singing out from her bedroom while I'm in the kitchen cooking her some dinner. She's absolutely boshed the dinner. Loved it. Gone to bed. I woke up on Monday. How are ya? Sound asleep, which was to be expected. She probably took some painkillers in the night or whatever. Just very, very common thing for her. Gone to work. Got a phone call from my nan. Jack, you need to come home. Something is dreadfully wrong. Come home. First thing I can hear is my mum screaming from pain. So, as you said, the aches in your stomach, if you don't get them addressed and looked at...
The thing is, your mum was on very strong painkillers for the arthritis, all the stuff she had. So that masked the pain for the sepsis. And when that sepsis gets bad, them pills ain't going to help.
No, it didn't at all.
You know,
she would have been very, very dosed up and screaming in agony.
Oh, I remember it like yesterday, mate.
Yeah, so that obviously goes to show how painful it can be. So if that's not, well, keeping your life is not an incentive, keeping out of that pain bloody well should be. So that was 1:00 in the afternoon. None of us knew what was going on. She thought it was her back and her pains of her abdomen and whatever, and she had diverticulitis and things like that. So just very, very common. None of us knew what to expect. Waiting for an ambulance. Chased up the ambulance a few times. It got there in a few hours or so. In hindsight, looking back, this is a conversation I had with my nan, so my mum's mum. So in hindsight, looking back, should we have dragged her out of bed, put her in the car and rushed her to hospital? Would that have saved her life? Maybe, but moving her out of that bed was not the right decision, because we didn't know what was going on. We didn't know how to care. As I said, she was disabled. We could have done more harm than good.
You've done the right thing, Jack. You've done the right thing.
Seeking medical advice and
you're asking people what you should do, and they got there as quick as they could.
They did, yeah, and they exact same thing. They said to me, "Your mother is more poorly than you realise," which is what was word for word, wasn't it? What Charlie had about you.
Yeah, I know.
She's then in hospital. She's in A&E. She's been resuscitated a few times, near enough instantly upon getting to the hospital. Moved up to the intensive care unit. I'm there at going to be 9:00 at night. I'm there sitting in the intensive care unit. They've come down to me and said, "Jack, she's all right. She's stable now. We've got her through worse. She's really, really ill. It's going to be touch and go for a long period of time. She's going to be very unwell and it's going to be a long road of recovery. But she's okay now. You can go home." So I get home, 10:00 at night, physically exhausted, go to bed, get a phone call, 3:00 in the morning, "You need to come down here and be at your mum's side." So me and Nan got to the hospital. I flew there, to be fair, so I think I got there about 20 past 3. And we went in, sat down with my mum. And this is where you go, is there any more to life than what it is? Because my nan was holding her hand saying, we need you. And I've held my mum's hand and I've said, "It's okay. I'll look after Nan. I'll look after everyone for you. We'll be sad, but we'll be okay." And a tear rolled down my mum, who's completely unconscious. ICU, pipes, whatnot. A tears rolled down her face. And then the heart monitor, the beats per minute just got lower and lower and lower until she passed. But the other part of that, of is there more to life, not just saying to an unconscious person, it's okay, do what you need to do. But my mum died. My mum was fixated with a time. And that time was the time that I was born. Every single night, she'd be up at that exact time. It was like 26 past... No, 3:34, I believe it is. But I'll double check that on my birth certificate because I'm too traumatised to realise it, to remember it, to be fair. I've had to treat my life as being a goldfish now for reasons such as that. But my mum was fixated with that time. The time of her death was recorded as the time of my birth. The exact minute that she fascinated for 21 years at that point in time.
Yeah.
So is there much more? Maybe. But please, 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 if you think anything's wrong, sepsis is the silent killer. And I'm going to go over some statistics now about how important and how deadly this infection is. Because the reality is, 1 in every 3 seconds, somebody loses their life.
3 seconds,
yeah, one person every 3 seconds.
It's showing me facts. I just can't believe it.
We'll link the sources down in the description.
11 million people per year die of sepsis. And you won't believe it. The majority are under 5.
Well, it's 40%.
40, not the majority, but 40% are kids. Wow. So if you've got an ache in your tummy like I had, don't wait 5 weeks, don't wait 6 weeks. Wait a few days. If it's still there 2 or 3 days later, you go.
Get help, because it is the number one cause of death in hospitals. It's the number one cause of readmission to hospital. It's the number one cause, number one cost to the healthcare fund as well. So it is so much more common than cancer. People talk about cancer. There's all this cancer awareness, Macmillan, etc. But there's people out there, and this is why NHS campaign about raising awareness of sepsis. So National Sepsis Day is, National Sepsis Awareness Day is September the 13th. So I'm sure this year, because of our journeys together, we'll definitely be doing something.
We're going to do the next one with my boys on the sepsis, and after that we're going to liven the channel up, because I don't want people going off of here crying and being all sad because we're telling you sad stories. You know, no one's laughing at this, are they? Because it's very, very sad. But the thing is, it's true and it can help people. So we've got to do it. As much as I don't like all the sad shit, you know, I really don't. I want to tell some jokes and have a laugh and tell you about going down the pub and having a fag. You know, that's what I want to talk about, and
exactly.
more a giggle, you know, and we will get to that. So just take today's one on the chin, because honestly, it could help so many people. You've got a little ache in your belly. It probably might be sepsis. Don't get paranoid. But if it stays there a couple of days, have it checked out, yeah? Because you know what happened to him, you know what happened to me, and it happened to one person every 3 seconds. Terrifying.
Exactly. But yeah, in future episodes, as I mentioned, we're going to have that set change. When we have that set change, it's going to be a really, really fun set. You're obviously going to see in the background, etc. But Reg has always said from the get-go, he didn't want to implement it in the early episodes, but moving forward, we're going to end on a joke of the week segment, because this man is full of one-liners. So we'll be bringing that to the table.
Used to do a little bit of stand-up years ago, so have a laugh and tell you a bit more about having fun in life.
Living life to the fullest.
Living life to the absolute max.
So because of that, please subscribe to the channel. Please help out with Reggie's story of telling everyone. Pass the channel on to people.
Please subscribe.
Thank you ever so much for listening. And we'll see you in the next episode next week, where we'll have Reggie's sons here telling their side of the story as well.